Hey guys, I don't have a whole lot of time right now. I've got to start prepping for work, so I hope I can finish this entire video before I have to leave, or at least before any of my alarms go off. But I want to make a short little thing about adaptive gameplay and recognizing um, when what kind of things you need to be doing. Trying to find ways to spam the things that your opponents have trouble dealing with, and stopping using the things that your opponents don't have trouble with. Um, I've got a couple of replays from Bafael Cup. I don't know how many people have really been watching those. But one of the reasons I started doing Bafael Cup is I'd have a lot of footage where I'd be able to take things out and talk about them individually and highlight some ideas that I wanted to show off, and it would all be, my footage and whatever. And I wouldn't have to take away, do an analysis of tournament footage that I'd have to get permission to use, anything like that. The first one I want to talk about was with a friend of mine, Rathmatics, who's been showing up to a ton of the Bafael Cups. I would say that for the most part, he is definitely more experienced than me, and definitely at least as smart as me. I don't know if his knowledge of the game is as elaborate as mine necessarily, but that's not what makes you a better player. And I think that Rathmatics, for the most part, is probably a slightly better player than I am. And let me just get this rolling here. I've had to fight him many times in my Bafael Cup, and I've also fought him many times in casuals, and he usually won, especially early on. He would generally win against me. And this is from Bafael Cup 6. This is one of the matches that happened in that tournament. He said some very interesting things to me after it that completely changed my understanding of the matchup. I already knew because I think GamerB counterpicked Elena. Well, GamerB plays Elena anyway, but he counterpicked Fudo, I think, with Elena in some tournament in Southeast Asia, I think, right? Something like that. And then there was another tournament somewhat recently where there was an Elena counterpick to Fei Long. I don't remember. I think this matchup is good for Elena. It just goes without saying. Her crouch jab is really good to punish his Rekka, and she can combo out of it even max range, especially against Rekkas, because Fei Long recovers standing in Rekka, so you can just cancel it to medium spin scythe. When I'm playing this matchup, I do a lot of stuff that does me no favors whatsoever. Like one of the big things, I'm already kind of doing it. One of the big things I really did a lot that didn't do anything for me was focus, and I focused all the time. That little poke, it's not so good. Doesn't work for me either, and I'm not anti-airing either. But these are I'm mentioning them as they come up, but I actually really want to focus on each individual one because everything comes together to me sort of being helpless in the matchup. The way I play Elena is I look at my meter, that 3 bars right now. Whenever I see 2 bars, I see that as one low FADC, which is safe and unreactable. And whenever I see 1 bar, I see that as one EX Mount Smash, which is unsafe and unreactable. I know you can technically react to Mallet Smash in terms of raw reaction time, but the mix-up between Mallet Smash and Link's Tail, both are like 15 frames. Both are basically, you cannot distinguish between the two, and one's low block and the other's an overhead block. Again, online and offline, I have had no one successfully defend themselves against the mix-up with anything higher than about 50% odds. So I consider that to be just as far as like it makes sense that that would be like just a true blue mix-up. It's really difficult to react to the yellow for EX Mallet Smash, and even then there's EX Link Style, which hits low and you can still FADC it, but I don't really use that much. But that's the way I play this. Okay, that's the way I play Elena. I play Elena like she has the best in-close mix-up in the game, and whenever I get in, I'm always trying to do one or the other of those, and get away with it. Um, so I would say that I play Elena, or at least back now, like in the time of this recording, I would say that I play Elena in a somewhat rushdown way, or that my ultimate goal is getting in. And that's just the way that I treat the character. It's like, oh, she has one of the best in-close mix-ups in the game. Might as well try and get in, then push the mix-up. I lost that first match. I should have been talking about it. Well, this is all going to be important in a second. How the way I think about things changes the way I play. But I'm trying to use overheads whenever I'm close. I'm trying to do lows whenever I'm close. I'm trying to get close. I've also got the throw in the back roundhouse mix-up that I try and work in all the time. But one of the ways I try and get close is I try to do a focus tack forward dash or a focus tack back dash. I try to use focus tacks to get the random openings, and I try to get in at not frame disadvantage. And then if I can get in at not frame disadvantage, then I can maybe poke and then cancel into one of my two moves. And one of them will hopefully work. Makes up a lot scary to push when I have no bars because I don't have the. I have to use light mallet smash light mallet smash or hard link tail with no FADC, which are both incredibly risky. Her mix up still functions with no bar, but it's just much more unsafe. I really feel like I'm trying to go in, and I feel like his ability to resist me going in is very strong. I get chance hits here and there, sometimes with the overhead, sometimes with the lucky focus. Sometimes I just get a lot of punishes. And I didn't realize just how many punishes I was getting, and if I was fully converting off of them, how much damage I would be getting off of them. But oftentimes I'll block a Rekka, and I just won't. I'll only get the one jab. Engine jump roundhouse was pretty cool. Like, frequently I would block a single Rekka, and I would just jab it once, and I would be like, oh, that was probably a punish, and I didn't cancel the spin scythe or anything. I would oftentimes try to go for two jabs. And then if I didn't get, the second jab wouldn't connect because it would be too far out. And I would have canceled the second jab into spin scythe. It's like I just need to cancel the first jab immediately. I literally win this match because he fucked up there. If he got, there was like two really bad screw-ups in a row. If he got the Stand Fierce link from that command, the command grab, he would have gotten the uppercut FADC for the kill. And if he did the follow-up command grab at a more appropriate time, I wasn't taking a throw. I literally should have won right, or I should have lost right there and then. But I've got a good sense for things, so when I know I'm on borrowed time, I know the opponent knows that I'm on borrowed time, and I know that they're kicking themselves for it. And no one plays well when they're kicking themselves. You can see, like, I'm just trying to end block strings with one or the other. Either an EX mallet smash or I tend to use EX mallet smash more against Rathmatics because he tends to fail to react to that more often than the Rhinohorn. Or, I mean, not Rhinohorn, Link's Tail. Elena's moves. He was kind of desperate here. There's ways to play off desperation. That wasn't a terrible one. I think he thought I was going to try and slide whiff punish his whiffed Rekkas, which I should have done actually. But I thought I was kind of afraid to do it in case he did like a third Rekka. But then he did Ultra, so that was even like, you know, that was an even more desperate version of what I was anticipating. Basically, when you're up a lot of health, there's no reason to take any sort of commit where you could potentially get counter hit out of it. And I knew that. Even back then, even in this recording, I knew that. This was March, very early March. I picked up Elena somewhat recently, but I'd already been playing her for a while by this point. But I've only been playing Elena for maybe like getting about 3 months now. I quite like her. Whiffing that focus stack, getting whiff punished for that focus stack. He very rarely anti-airs me, and I very rarely anti-air him. And one of the reasons for that is we don't jump that much. But when we do jump, we both let each other go, which is not good. And also, I anti-air focus all the time, and that doesn't get me. It gets me a little bit of ultra meter, and he doesn't punish the backdash, the release, the forward dash, whatever. But it doesn't get, like, it's free damage that I'm losing when I'm not doing anti-airs. So it's really not good. But I'm not anti-airing him. I watched this replay later, and I was thinking that, like, after I lost. Because I do lose this match. I was trying to analyze it and come up with a reason and what I should do next time because I knew I'd fight Rathmatics again. That's an example. I got one jab punish on the Rekka, and I just didn't do anything. I didn't try to cancel it. I knew it was a punish. Her jab is 3 frames. There's another time. I tried for 2 jabs. I ended up getting only 1 jab, and then I canceled the second jab even though it didn't come out. the single jab cancel is quite reliable as a punish, since the light rec is -5 and all the other recos are worse, and the jab pretty much always punishes it. There's me going for my in-close mix-up. Well, every time I talk to Mathematics, he seems to think about this game in a dramatically different way than I do, and he offers a lot of insight into the way that I was playing. I'll get to that. Actually, maybe I could just start talking about it now. I'll wait till the round ends. That was a punish. I could have just cancel it immediately. I'm barely using my meter because I'm never getting the in-close mix-ups. That's one of the things, is he stands at a range away where he can use his recos and whatnot, but it's out of the range of my pokes. And if it's out of the range of my pokes, I feel like I can't cancel, and every time I try to walk into the range of my low-strong, he walks out of it, or he whiff punishes it. Or like he hits me trying to walk in. Stuff like that. And that happened a lot. Also, that combo dropped. I did crouching Fei Long. Crouching a lot of characters, you have to do unique combos on them. Fei Long is one of them. I talked about this matchup to him. I felt, coming away from that matchup at the time, I felt like I could not open him up. And then talking to him after the match, he said, like, good games, it was pretty close. I felt like I could not open you up. And I was like, wait a second, what? I didn't feel like I had to defend. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like I was so focused on pushing my mix-up that I didn't think about sitting on a life lead, and I didn't think about, like, the ways I was opening myself up by trying to approach. And I thought, well, if I wasn't even trying to push my mix-up, like, I would have been a lot more safe. I would have just been able to, like, win, like, with the one mix-up maybe, or just, like, the pokes and the attrition and the anti-airs. And then I would just be able to hold down back, because he has a lot of trouble approaching me with the, without walking into a normal or something. And therefore he can't use his command grab easily, and he can't use recos to, like, pressure me, because Elena has really good answers to recos. So I was thinking that, I was like, wow, like, Mathematics had, like, just a very different take on what it meant to, on what I should be doing to win than I did. And I completely wasn't trying to think about turtling it out. And then the next tournament, 1 week later, I fought him again. And this is winner's final, so it's 3 out of 5. I got 45 minutes. I should be able to comfortably watch every single match I've got here. But I come in with a completely different take in this matchup. I'm just focusing on anti-airing, getting a little bit of damage that I can sit on, and then just not opening myself up. I actually missed a punish there. I missed a punish there just because it was out of range. That one surprised me. I thought the jab would always punish recos, and it usually does, but every now and then it can be spaced to be safe. I'm already not doing so good about the thing that I said I would be looking for. That was an interesting scenario. For sit only, I could have juggled. Every match, even going in with a plan, every match is somewhat chaotic. So I won't always immediately have the best example of, was a good crumple, what I'm trying to do. I haven't watched this since it happened, so sorry, I forgot things went a little awry in the first round. Not punishing still. I thought I had that as part of my plan in this match. I thought I was pretty consistent with it. Oh yeah, I switched over to healing too because I thought it would give me more potential to turtle him out. Since I considered turtling him out was more like my goal in the matchup, I was sloppy jumping. I figured healing would perhaps be the better ultra for the matchup. I immediately thought that healing would be bad for the matchup because Fei Long has a lot of full screen presence with his recos. So like even if I heal from far away, he can get to me really fast with recos and hit me like during the startup states of my heal. So I need a back throw or like a super knockdown in order to actually get like a decent amount of healing off. That's what I was thinking. I thought that healing would not be so good because of that. That was a good delayed reca he did. Kind of hit me out of my attempted jab punish. Right here, I'm thinking how I have a pretty good life lead, and I'm thinking about how actually I'm still going in. I'm thinking about how in a perfect world I'd just be holding down back a lot, and not. I mean, I shouldn't say turtling is just holding down back. I did a little bit unnecessary holding down back there because I could have gotten a whiff punish. But trying to prevent him from getting in and pushing his mix up is my goal right now. That was not an anti-air. It technically was an anti-air because he whiffed an air normal. The juggle didn't even combo. Got a good life lead right now. Blocked across up wrong. He's real tricky with that. He'll jump from a range where it's very ambiguous. I'm making like 0 commits right now because I've got such a big life lead. That's an example of why 0 commits can be bad. But I don't want to get frame trapped. I didn't even that lack of punish was actually intentional. I didn't want to get hit by a second Rekka. If Fei Long delays a second Rekka, he can counter hit your punish unless your punish is invincible. Like Gao can flash kick a Rekka, and then if he does a second Rekka, the flash kick still beats the second Rekka. Dropping combos left and right. Early on in the match, I look for ways to open him up and get damage on him. And then later on in the match, I look for ways to win patiently. Also, I've toned down my focus. I mean, I'm still doing it. I just did it right there. But I was focusing, if you watch the first match, I was focusing absolutely all the time. And I didn't crumple him like one time. Cancelled early trying to bait and punish a Rekka, and I think I was out of range or something. I saw the combo there, but I didn't cancel spin scythe because he was crouching. You're supposed to cancel into uppercut in that scenario, but I didn't react fast enough, and I couldn't move my hands to the uppercut motion, so I decided to just end the combo. 3 jabs is fine. Let me see if I can skip to the next round. Focus dash-in is okay on Fei Long because it goes through a lot of his one-hit attacks, which is like all his pokes and his Rekka and whatnot. And if you go through something, and it's quite surprising to have the opponent suddenly forward dash in on you. I think Air made a comment something like that at some point. It was a whiff punish. Got the overhead trade, that was kind of cool. Got the trade combo, no less. That's a 1-frame link. Low short, low jab. Elena's ability to combo out of lows is quite difficult. Right now, I'm sitting on top of the world. I feel like I've got every read going for me. I mean, I wouldn't even call these reads. It's just like he's making himself unsafe in the process of trying to come at me. And I'm just punishing it. That was a really bad jump. I had a big whiff punish available. He was afraid to whiff punish that because, or I should punish that. He was afraid to punish that because he thought it might be hard link's tail. You can actually react to the different speeds though. Medium is very slow and hard is very fast. I was playing a completely closed game at the end of that. Like I got the half life lead in the first like 20 seconds, and then I ended up winning with like only 30 seconds left on the clock. So most of the round I was just doing nothing. There's my good punish. Punished a whiffed Rekka quite nicely. You can just see how difficult it is for him to get damage on me. Or like approach me. Not trying to, you know, say that Rathmatics is bad, because he's definitely not. But I think this is getting to the point. This is like scratching the surface of how Elena will win this matchup at the highest level. That initial jump he actually could have anti-aired. I think he actually counterpicks me with Vega in the third match, and I still win. But I really wanted to talk about Elena versus Fei Long, so I don't think we'll watch that one. Because my game plan is completely different versus Vega. Vega's a bit of an odd character. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't say it's completely different, because it's still like a matchup that I have to win by poking and turtling. But my rushdown is much more rewarding versus Vega than it is versus Fei Long. 20 seconds left. It's not like I figured out Rathmatics or anything like that either, because we had a tournament match pretty recently and it was very close, and if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. It's in Bafael Cup 9. The 9th Bafael Cup. Anyway, that was one of them. It's me analyzing a matchup and trying to play it in a different way. This one is a different kind of analysis. This guy, I've never met him before this tournament, and I don't think I've talked to him since, but he's a very good Dictator player. And he had, at this point, never played an Elena at all. And that became really apparent to me just playing him for the first time. I was like, wow, this guy like doesn't know how to block anything that I'm doing. That's a reset just for the stand roundhouse is like +3, and then I just throw the opponent afterwards because I had a dizzy. It did a lot of damage. I was gonna get really scaled. I'd never fought a Bison as Elena, but I'd fought Bison as other characters. He'd never fought an Elena as anyone. So I had a lot more matchup knowledge going in than he did. I ran Ultra Double because I wanted to be able to use whichever one I needed to. I think Ultra Double is actually pretty good in this matchup because Ultra 1 gives you good punishes, but I didn't want to sacrifice healing, even though the healing that Ultra Double healing gives you is pathetic. I still think I'd get some utility out of it. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of like random open ups like that. You have to be very committed with your blocking versus Elena because all of her lows are 2-hit lows and all her overheads are 2-hit overheads. You can't just like wiggle back and forth between blocking and hope it's going to work. You have to just decide. This is grand finals, so I was coming from losers. So I had to win 3 matches to reset the bracket to put him into losers bracket alongside me, and then I had to win 3 more matches if I wanted to win the tournament. So I was a pretty big disadvantage going into this matchup, but I didn't feel it at all because knowing that he didn't know the matchup and knowing how strong Elena is if you don't know the matchup, I basically was unafraid. But I pull out all the tricks in this matchup. That was actually a really nice red focus. I don't know, it was kind of a lot of meter to bear him when he was already up a lot of health. I think he could have won with just light scissor spam. Elena doesn't have great burst damage when she doesn't have full Ultra 1. I had like that Ultra Double, which isn't super strong, and I probably wasn't going to land a... Elena's focus stack goes over lows. A couple of focus stacks do. I think Sakura's does, for example. And I get that to work for me a lot, especially early on. But I'm completely nailing him with the overhead low mix up, and I'm completely nailing him with the slide pressure, and then just there I use the back roundhouse to go over his throw. And all of these are things that he's probably never been exposed to at all, at least at the time of this recording. This was 2/26, 2015. I haven't played him since. I'd wager that he's leveled up somewhat. Everyone levels up over time, hopefully. So that was my first one, right? Elena doesn't have a punish after a block scissor kick, but her jab goes so far that Bison has to block it. And Bison doesn't have any charge after a light scissor kick unless he's like perfect charging, and he delays it like very slightly. So if I jab and he does like his 3-frame normal, my jab's gonna win, and my jab will connect against him. And yeah, because he's -1 and I've got a 3-frame jab and he's got a 3-frame short. There's a crouching combo. Your opponent's crouching, you gotta modify your combo. I knew I can't punish those, but I knew I could subject them to a mix-up if I block them. That's a punish. I'd never even known that worked. I'd never tried it before. Right there, I was like, this probably works, and I tried it and it worked. I found out since then that it doesn't work if Bison's right next to you and he EX Psycho Crushers. He has to be somewhat kind of far out from you. Actually, I think I found that out in this matchup. Now he's kind of recognizing the rages where I'm doing the mount smash, and he's high blocking them a lot better. He's still really opening himself up to lows. It's like it's like he's only going for high blocks. There's the back roundhouse beating the crouch tech. It's like, oh, Elena's overhead presence is really good if I high block all the time. Then I can defend myself against it. But actually, her low presence is all right too. Just takes a lot of meter to convert out of, or you know, good execution, depending on the way that you do it. I should be skipping through matches. I don't know why I'm just letting it play out. That's a nice little stand roundhouse there. Or low strong, stand strong. It was a counter hit though. That back roundhouse. He defended himself successfully, did not crouch tech. If you haven't gleamed yet, the person who had really good adaptive tendencies in this matchup was not me. It was him. He was very adaptive. He was the one who came in with nothing, and he was getting hit by everything. And as the match goes on, well, we'll see. He starts defending himself better and better against Elena's mix-up. That was a whiff punish, I think. I ended with the hard I should have ended with the hard one. I just wanted that knockdown, I guess. I don't know. They all knock down. Hard is the best one because it gets a hard knockdown. I don't think the others do. Actually, I think they do. Hard gives you the best Oki though, so whatever. It's a good counter focus. Didn't get a very big combo, but you know. It's a nice little EX scissor kick, I guess. I don't know. Didn't do anything for him. It's cool that he's going for it though. EX scissor kick I feel like is a pretty good thing, not just in the matchups where you're trying to go through fireballs. Got the after cancel there. Does not deduct meter if you cancel after the kill. I can never complete combos. I'm still trying to push the low overhead mix-up. Every time I cancel into Link's tail, like that, like I just did, these could be cancels into... he missed his... Well, he got the punish, he missed the combo. These could be cancels into Mallet Smash. And I'm going for Link's tail all the time here. You can see I just canceled into it like 3 or 4 times. There's another. I was going low, 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 low that whole round. Because I knew that he probably had become just aware at this point of the mix-up. Well, I mean, obviously he was aware of the mix-up. But I think he was beginning... I thought at the time he was beginning to be fully aware of any time he blocked low strong, he had to deal with either an overhead or a low. And he blocked some of the lows right, so I was like, time to do more lows. I figured he would swap between the two. Since it's very hard to react. If not possibly impossible. Elena's overhead is 15 frames. The EX one. Which is about 0.25, 250 milliseconds. About 0.25 of a second. Which is outside raw reaction times. Or it's inside raw reaction times, but it's outside go or no-go reaction times. Which is the kind of thing you need to use for that kind of scenario. That's a good little teleport out. I don't think I could have chased that with slide. That was really cool. I got lucky. That's actually a thing that could actually be really useful in this matchup, I think. I've won 3 straight games, by the way. Right, have I? I started with 2 wins, didn't I? This is the 3rd game, isn't it? No, I'm not so sure. No, I started with 2 wins and it's 5 wins. I've won 3 straight games. So I've already reset the bracket and put him into losers, and I'm feeling real confident right now. Although I wouldn't say I played terribly different when I'm feeling really confident. So I don't think that's the thing that kills me. But I am feeling really confident. I'm pushing that mix up left, right, center. The back roundhouse. Back roundhouse versus throw. The only thing that beats both is invincible reversal. Like if he does EX Psycho Crusher, EX scissor kick. Those are the only things that beat both back roundhouse and throw. If he takes the throw, he's opening himself up to the back roundhouse. If he doesn't take the throw, he gets thrown. I guess he could backdash too, or teleport away. But both of those are inoffensive, and thus I'm not terribly afraid if he does them. Dropping combos. I still get him with the low invincible focus. He's going for the wrong things in that context. He should be going for crouch jab, or perhaps EX Psycho Crusher would be better. Burned a lot of bar to do that. I was really scared to go for that punish. I don't know why. I just felt like I'd go through him. What are we at? 4 straight games? We're rematching really quick. I was like thinking about skipping through that, but it was already nearly done by the time I even thought to. Oh, I remember why I was using Ultra Double. This was the Ultra Double tournament. Well, I use Ultra Double in this matchup anyway. I thought it was kind of weird that he was going for it, or he was using it. But I feel like Ultra Double is actually really good here. Bison Ultra Double I would probably not use. I feel like one is generally better than the other. Trying to get some pressure on me. If someone has a good mix-up, you can often dodge it just by never being a scenario where you need to block. So he's trying to get like frame traps with the stand short and whatnot. Back roundhouse works. He low blocks the whole thing and reversals out at a decent time. He could have actually reversals before being forced to block my focus stack, which is when he should have done it. But he blocked the whole low string and got like a good scenario following it. Dropped a combo there. Oops. That would have been a nice combo to land, I think. Blocking the overhead on reaction, you can actually stuff it. Bison can do like jabs, shorts, whatever. Stand roundhouse. Oops. I still managed to get out of the scenario decently, but then I drop it. A lot of the things I was doing earlier that was getting me a lot of damage, like neutral jumping scissor kicks and coming down with the combos, are suddenly not working. And a lot of the overheads and whatnot, the overhead low mix stuff I'm going for, is suddenly being punished. The full screen presence I have with the slide. I'm missing a lot of punishes too. That was me going from down back to the newly down forward and then hitting hard kick. I was trying to get a slide, but for some reason the game gave me an uppercut. Crouching DP motion somehow. That was kind of frustrating because that would have been a punish. Now I'm dropping a couple combos too, so it's not like all his adaptation, although it certainly helps. I think he tried to, I don't know why he did that. I feel like he should have just done Ultra 1. It wouldn't have done much damage, but you know. He's not going to land an Ultra any other way. I don't know why the combo dropped there. I guess I just got the cancel really late. Either that or maybe I like, at the heat of the moment, I cancel into light instead of medium spin scythe. I've done that before. 2 or 3 times. It's like, oh shit, I don't want to drop this, better use the light version instead of the medium version. But actually, only the medium version works. Completely changed how I played the match, how I played Elena when I found out about medium spin scythe. Which of course was, you know, like 1 week into playing Elena, not even. The first time I played Elena was actually to record the Elena tutorial, wasn't it? No. I'd already played her before that. I'd already been playing her before that. I started the Elena tutorial really early, but it ended up being the last one I finished generously. Nice little sweep there. I've got to remember that for next time I fight a Bison, because that's kind of cool. Beat the scissor kick coming in. I was a little shaken here because he took a game. I mean, I wouldn't call myself shaken, but I was like, I can't, this isn't free. This isn't going to be free. Or maybe not this isn't going to be free, but like, he'd proven that he could fight back. Up until that point, I'd just sort of been endless confidence. That slide is a punish. I got lucky there. I don't know why I gave up so much ground. Of all the characters to win an Ultra Double tournament, has to be Bison. He's got one of the worst Ultra Doubles. Maybe not. That was a combo. From the Link's Tail, I mean. I never anti-air. I need to get better with that. I'm like watching my replays. I'm just like, where the anti-air's at. Just let people jump in. Got Stand Strong. I got Crouch Fierce. Me nearly losing that matchup was more attributed to me fucking up a lot than him really like downloading Elena. Although his download of Elena is pretty obvious. Like I'm having a lot harder of a time winning. But it's pretty clear that he's or it's like a lot of the damage that I didn't get was like a combo opportunity that I got and then dropped again in that particular round. Anti-air. We both reacted really late that time. Got my confirm. My mix-ups are still working, I guess. That one didn't, and he punished it. He punished it. -5. Like, that's a pretty big bad sign. A lot of people, even people who know the matchup, fuck up that punish all the time. Not only did he react to the fact that he blocked the right direction, he was expecting it, he blocked the right direction, and he got the punish for the re-knockdown. That was like a, I didn't treat it like such. And he got a punish there too. I didn't treat it like such, but that should have been a really big warning sign for me. Like that I had to tone down the up-down mix-ups. That was just dumb on my part. I tried to do the Link's Tail. I tried to cancel the Link's Tail, obviously, but I didn't care if I'd missed the cancel because it would hit his scissor kick coming in. Or so I thought. But he didn't even scissor kick in. The mix-up is still working 50% of the time. But what's scary is that when it doesn't work, he gets good damage on me. Like his game plan hasn't been to at first he was blocking the wrong way on both. Just like he would wiggle between the blocking directions or something like that. And he would just block the wrong way and then eat either the second hit and not the first, or just, you know, eat both hits. So he just wouldn't be reacting to the lows and overheads and whatnot. And now it's still working 50% of the time, but if he blocks an EX Mallet Smash, he's getting the punish. If he blocks a Link's Tail, he's getting the punish. And those are doing about the same damage as when my mix-up works. Well, maybe not about the same damage. I'm still out-damaging him when my mix-up works. But I have to devote a lot of meter to my mix-up. And obviously it's better for him if he punishes than if he doesn't. That was a really bad option select that I dropped. And he didn't punish it. A lot of people, when they block Elena's slide, it does a surprising amount of block stun. So they're not ready. They hit the button too early and nothing comes out. Back roundhouse, he's blocking correctly. He recognizes that I'm probably going to jab afterwards. He EX Psycho Crusher's out. From that point blank, EX Psycho Crusher, I don't think Elena has a punish. Maybe slide. Definitely not Ultra 1 though. Still 50%. That went impeccably well for me. You can actually jump out of a mallet smash quite easily. The vertical range on them is awful. Here, that was pretty bad. I want it to be unexpected, but it just comes off as desperate. He didn't need to do anything. So my unexpectedness didn't have a place right there. I don't think that was a light one. I think I could have jabbed that. Great jump back roundhouse. He's actually even not being subjected to as many mix-ups. Just purely because he's not in the punishable ranges at all times. Didn't dash cancel that, but he got the counter hit, so he still got the punish. He could have got a bigger one, though. That was a whiff punish, I think. Not committing to anything during the parts where I have, where I could counter hit him. I shouldn't say that where I could counter hit him. But he's focusing on his defense, and as soon as he realizes the mix-up's over, he reversals his way out. And it's getting him a lot of mileage. That was really far. I probably should have Ultra 1 rather than Ultra 2ing. But Ultra 2, the full heal, ended up being better for me. Blocked correctly, tried for the punish. It's kind of tight. Or rather, it's not tight, but he thought it was the other version. He reacted too late to the fact that it was medium. Low short's quite a comfortable punish. That was some nonsense. Come on, Elena. I should let him fully pass through me before attempting the punish. That was kind of early anyway. I see the time at this point, and I'm just like, okay, I don't need to do anything to win. Just gotta turtle him out and not spend any bar. That was my game plan, but I didn't even have to worry about that because him trying to approach or whatever. I got some counter pokes going. Some counter walk in. Blocks the mix-up correctly, punishes it. Not a huge punish. Obviously he wanted 2 shorts into Psycho. Or I mean 2 shorts into Scissor Kick. That was bad. He acted like that was a punish. I think it was. Actually, I'm not sure. I feel like hard Rhino Horn is like -3 or something like that, so it's surprisingly safe. A lot of people think it's really punishable. He might have actually gotten the punish though if 1 is available, which I don't remember if it is or not. I'm just really getting just subjected to mix-ups right now. Or not even mix-ups, just to pressure. Blocking correctly, punishing correctly. Was that the last game? I don't remember. Yeah, it was. You can really just see, though, that he adapted, he completely changed his gameplay style as we were fighting. And it happened so fluidly that, like, I went from going four wins in a row to losing more often than I was winning. So I think that was actually some really excellent Bison play. Or not even necessarily excellent Bison play, but great recognition of how to fight a character as you're fighting that character. That happened incredibly quickly. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I guess I didn't go as in-depth as I really wanted to. But, I guess that's all. I've got to start prepping for work now, so, catch you later, guys. Cody tutorial coming up pretty soon, maybe, perhaps.